Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the facts behind a genuinely tragic and honestly, deeply perplexing case that has recently gripped the city of Mumbai in absolute fear. It's a story that's been dominating local headlines, sparking just rampant rumors on social media, and causing a massive ripple effect through the entire agricultural economy. We are looking at the so-called watermelon deaths. 4 family members dead, a whole city on edge, and the prime suspect in the court of public opinion? Well, it's sitting right there in the refrigerator. Okay, let's dive into this. We're exploring a real-life medical and forensic mystery today, one that starts with an ordinary everyday family dinner and ends with a completely crashed wholesale agricultural market. So what exactly happened to the Dokadia family, and why is the scientific community practically begging us to pause before we blame the fruit?
Section 1. A fatal family dinner, the timeline of a tragedy. Now, to really understand the panic, we need to zoom in on the Dokadia family's home in the Paidani area of South Mumbai. We start on a seemingly normal Saturday evening. The Dokadias hosted a dinner get-together, serving biryani to a group of 9 relatives. Around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday, the guests headed home. And it was at this point that the family of 4, 40-year-old Abdullah, his 35-year-old wife Nasreen, and their 2 teenage daughters, Aisha and Zainab, shared some leftover watermelon before calling it a night. But by 6 a.m., that normalcy just completely shattered. All 4 family members woke up experiencing severe and incredibly rapid physical distress. We're talking intense vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach pain. They called a local doctor, but the medication they got only provided temporary relief.
And things deteriorated shockingly fast from there. By 11 a.m. on Sunday, neighbors and relatives had to actually rush the family to hospitals because they were already in a semi-conscious state. Despite aggressive medical intervention, the losses just cascaded. At 1:30 p.m., the mother, Nasreen, passed away in the ICU. Her 16-year-old daughter, Aisha, died just a few hours later at 5:15 p.m. By 10:15 p.m., the father, Abdullah, also passed away, and 13-year-old Zainab succumbed to the illness at another hospital within hours of her admission. It's just devastating. An entire family was gone in less than 24 hours.
Section 2. The medical mystery. Why doctors reject the food poisoning theory.
The immediate assumption from the public, which was heavily fueled by terrified WhatsApp forwards, was simple: food poisoning from the watermelon. But there is a massive, stark contrast between a standard foodborne illness and what actually happened to the Dokadias. Look, you know what typical food poisoning looks like. It usually involves severe stomach issues and a pretty gradual physical decline. But the Dokadias, they suffered a rapid, severe neurological decline. Like we mentioned, they were brought into the hospital semi-conscious. This level of sudden brain function impairment completely baffled the physicians treating them.
Dr. Sanjay Surese, the medical superintendent over at Sir J.J. Hospital where the family was treated, stated unequivocally that the clinical picture does not match routine foodborne illnesses. His exact words were, "The speed of deterioration, the severity, suggests something beyond ordinary food contamination. We are looking at the possibility of a toxic or chemical substance. The sheer aggression of the symptoms really points to a highly potent external agent."
So, what kind of chemical substance could possibly be in a watermelon? Well, medical experts have pointed out that dangerous chemicals, things like formalin, calcium carbide, or oxytocin, are sometimes illegally used by rogue vendors to artificially ripen or color fruits. It's a known issue. However, the sheer speed and the literally 100% fatality rate of these deaths, that suggests a chemical concentration rarely, if ever, seen in the casual consumption of artificially ripened fruit. It just doesn't add up to a simple bad batch from a local vendor.
Section 3. Beyond the watermelon. Expanding the suspect list.
Right, so if a normal or even an illegally ripened watermelon couldn't cause this kind of rapid mass fatality, authorities had to broaden their investigation. Police and forensic teams from the J.J. Mark Police Station are currently exploring several chilling possibilities. Was this an incident of severe accidental contamination with some kind of household chemical? Was there unbearable financial stress that led to a tragic, coordinated family decision to end their lives? Or are we looking at deliberate foul play by an outside party?
To uncover the truth, the Maharashtra Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, stepped in. And they didn't just bag the watermelon. Oh no, they collected 11 different food and water samples from the Dokadia home, the whole shebang. They took the leftover biryani, the raw chicken, raw rice, all the spices including turmeric and chili powder, the dates, the drinking water from an earthen pot, and even some cinnamon water. The absolute crucial takeaway here is that right now, every single item consumed in that house on Saturday night is a suspect awaiting analysis at the FDA laboratory in Bandra. But here is where it gets really crazy, adding a massive layer of complexity to the case. Remember those guests from the dinner party? 5 relatives ate the exact same biryani dinner earlier in the evening, but they skipped the late-night watermelon. Police have recorded their statements, and absolutely none of them fell ill. 0 symptoms. This singular, undeniable fact keeps pulling the entire investigation back to those late-night hours and that specific fruit, deepening the mystery even further.
Investigators are leaving absolutely no stone unturned here. They've actually managed to track down the specific fruit hawker in Noel Bazaar who sold the watermelon to the family. Simultaneously, they're rigorously digging through Abdullah Dokadia's bank statements and phone records, looking for any signs of extreme financial distress that might point towards suicide. And adding to the intrigue, there are these unconfirmed post-mortem reports floating around suggesting the presence of a painkiller-like substance in the victims' bodies. Now, hospital authorities haven't officially verified this yet, so everything really hinges on those final toxicology and chemical analysis reports.
Section 4. Panic hits the market. The collateral damage of rumors. While forensic teams are quietly searching for scientific answers, the court of public opinion has already delivered a very loud verdict. And the true collateral damage of these social media rumors has been devastating. At the APMC market in Navi Mumbai, which by the way is one of Asia's largest wholesale fruit and agricultural markets, watermelon prices quite literally fell off a cliff. Normally, during peak summer, wholesale prices sit comfortably between 10 and 35 rupees a kilo. Following the news of the Dokadia family, prices plummeted to an abysmal 5 to 7 rupees per kilo.
And the sheer volume of sales? Yeah, that crashed too. Traders are reporting that at the height of the panic, less than half, only about 40 to 50% of their massive daily stock was actually being sold. Out of the roughly 4,000 to 5,000 quintals of watermelon arriving every single day, more than half was simply left rotting. Terrified consumers completely avoided the fruit, resulting in absolute financial ruin for local farmers and vendors.
What makes this economic hit even worse, honestly, is that it was a perfect storm. Local markets in Maharashtra were already severely oversupplied. Why? Well, because the ongoing geopolitical conflict in West Asia had essentially halted lucrative fruit exports to Gulf countries. So the local market was already flooded with excess stock that had nowhere to go. And then the sudden collapse in domestic consumer demand just pulled the floor right out from under the agricultural supply chain.
Section 5. Awaiting the truth. Facts over fear.
Right now, food safety officials are desperately urging the public to remain calm, and look at this logically. Sridhar Dubey Patil, the Maharashtra Food Safety Commissioner, actually stepped forward to address the pesticide fears directly. He noted that yes, while watermelons are sprayed with various insecticides during cultivation and residue is just a reality of modern agriculture, he clearly stated there is bound to be a pesticide residue, but nobody dies from it. Standard agricultural chemicals simply do not cause sudden, overnight mass fatalities. It just doesn't happen. The tragic loss of the Dokadia family is a stark and genuinely heartbreaking reminder of how quickly an unexplained medical incident can be weaponized by rumors into citywide hysteria. As we wrap up this explainer and eagerly await the final, definitive laboratory reports from the FDA and forensic teams to unveil the true culprit behind these deaths, whether that turns out to be chemical tampering, accidental contamination, or something else entirely, we have to ask ourselves, are we going to let premature panic and forwarded WhatsApp rumors dictate our actions and destroy the livelihoods of innocent farmers? Or will we have the patience to wait for the forensic truth? Thanks for joining me to unpack this complex and ongoing mystery. Keep questioning, keep learning, and as always, rely on the facts.